Hello students and welcome to my class. Today I'm going to begin with the second part of this chapter 4 geography where we have learned about the different minerals and as we have already discussed that without rock we are not going to get any of the minerals. So that's why the lithosphere is one of the sources through which today world is very much different. So this is how we are today and our technology is moving very far ahead and then making the world very unique today. Okay, so let us know about first of all as I have already mentioned about the different forms that we have found minerals, actually different formats. So the number one format that we found, that is mineral form, actually through the organic means, and here we have discussed about the plants and animals quite long decades ago when this natural calamities or something happened. So through which this today fossil fuels and mineral fuels are actually found, and so such examples like a coal and a petroleum is a part of the this mineral form through the organic means. Second part we have discussed in the last video, that is about the minerals formed through inorganic means. So inorganic sense that we are getting the different like copper, gypsum, limestone, iron. These are the all materials are actually from the metallic and non-metallic substances. So let us also know about the metallic minerals. Now when we talk about metallic minerals, you will be hearing about the iron, gold, copper. These are actually obtained from the metallic minerals, and also they are also found in the ores, of course we are understanding. So most of these metallic minerals are actually found in the igneous rocks. So that's why in the beginning of this video I have already mentioned that rock, without rock we are not going to get any sort of like a minerals, because whatever the minerals we are finding today and our world is actually changing day by day, and then a different format we have already reached. So this is all about the magic of the or this rock. Okay, so this is very important to know, understand. Okay, next is a metallic minerals can be also further divided that is a ferrous minerals, that one then another is a non-ferrous minerals. So here you will be coming to know that, as a name suggests here, ferrous minerals are rich in the iron content. So iron ore or chromite and manganese, these are the actually ferrous minerals. So another is a non-ferrous minerals that we find, that is about the here the copper, silver, then lead, then gold. These are actually non-ferrous actually minerals. Okay, so this is all about the metallic minerals and the division of it. Next is we have the non-metallic minerals. Now what we can call the non-metallic minerals? Non-metallic minerals is here you can find that this non-metallic minerals, and these minerals actually include the nitrate, that is non-metallic, sulfur, mica, then talc, salt, then coal, etc. These are actually non-metallic, and they are actually generally found in the sedimentary rocks. So without rocks, no minerals. Okay, so that is about the metallic minerals and non-metallic minerals. Next we have got the mining. So this mining we have talk about that why the mining actually required, or what is the purpose behind the mining. So mining can make the country develop, mining can make the country progress, and mining can make the country to have a good relationship with the other country, because it is a part of the exchanging the goods from your country to another country. So that's why mining is one of the process through which the extractions are done, and then it is done in a different processes. So number one, why the mining is done? So first of all, quality and quantity is very important. Quality and quantity of minerals wherever is possible. So mining is very much like benefiting. So here quality and quantity of minerals should be high enough, so that your drilling, your mining, your way of extracting should not invest the money in vain. So the money should be utilized for the this extraction, and from here suppose you are getting a huge amount of like minerals, it means you are benefiting, at the same time the country will benefit. So that is how actually here very important quality and quantity of minerals to have in any of the regions. Second part with that accessibility to the region, it means suppose anywhere the minerals is available and possible of bringing it from there to send for the further like a refinement. So that is very important. So the region where the minerals ores is located should be easily accessible. So either car or train or ship, whatever things are possibly should enter and can bring it to the plane and to make it the goods. So that is very important. So the regions that are densely forested or excessively like a swampy, then it is not possible for the people to get into it and to extract it. So third point we have to keep in mind, that is a depth of the minerals. So however the minerals is not found directly on the surface of the soil, but here certain amount of depthness is there through which the things are extracted, and it is easier to extract the minerals when they are actually found in the upper layers especially. But suppose it is going deep down of it, then of course the investment will be more. So that is how. So extraction of minerals placed at a depth is not only very expensive, but at the same time it is risky as well. So that is the thing I have mentioned. Okay, now we have talked about this mining, and we have also the method of mining. Now the methods can be like a mining. Usually number one is a shaft mining, second is a like a open pit mining, and a third one is a your drilling. So this is three varieties of like methods of mining that is actually made. So let me explain you what exactly the shaft mining. Now when we talk about the shaft mining, here a few minerals need to be extracted from the deep under the surface of the earth, and a deep hole core, that is a deep hole core shaft has to be dug to reach these minerals. Such as like such a mine is called actually shaft mine, and a shaft mine has many underground chambers. So that is how we can find it. Okay, it has got many chambers. So that is a little bit we have to keep in mind. Okay. Okay. So again, you have to understand about this open pit mining. Now we learn about the shaft mining. Then what exactly the open pit mining? Now when we talk about the open pit mining, here what exactly happens? Mines that are actually located very close to the surface are called quarries. Now we have seen, I think in different areas, how these quarries are actually functioning. And then I remember in the Cherrapunji, one of the area where this limestone is actually very systematically they are actually digging out, and then they are warming up in the fire and all, and how the limestone is actually comes to the what called like a cement factory, and then it is making cement. So how very much like having the systematic work is done there. So that is how actually these things are actually done on the open pit actually mining. So therefore open pit mining is practiced in the such mines, and in this method what happens, the minerals are actually extracted by digging an open pit. It's very simple, means like not much deep down of it, but then quite close by it. So that is we have seen. So next is methods of mining is drilling. Now what exactly the drilling? Now it is the process of extracting mineral, oil and a natural gas by digging deep wells, and drilling is performed in a various ways depending upon the what the size of the opening and a type of rock that has to be penetrated. So this drilling system is done basically especially the like oil how it is actually drilling and taking it out, and then the drilling is taking place quite very expensively in fact, but at the same time you see the drilling is done when there is a certain amount of rock is possibly can be breakthrough. So that is how. So let us know now about the distribution of minerals. Now what the minerals are actually, it is not found in one place only. So according to the what called like the formation of the lithosphere, the different minerals are actually found in different parts of the world, and therefore today we will be discussing about the distribution of the different minerals in the world and how these things are actually made available. Okay, so the distribution of minerals are actually greatly uneven throughout the world. We already talk about. So here we will be talking about that there are some of the minerals are actually found that is majorly. So first of all, number one is iron. Now when we talk about the iron, iron is the most commonly used mineral in every part of the world, and the main ores of iron are actually magnetite, then a hematite, then a limonite. These are the few minerals are actually extracted, and they have varying amounts of iron content in them. So out of this, actually magnetite has the highest amount of iron content, and however you can see that hematite is the most commonly uh, used iron ore, and iron is mixed with other substances to produce steel. So today we can see the steel in a houses, in the building and construction, bridges and all. These are actually mix of the two different chemicals, two different minerals. So steel is used to make a machinery, transport and equipment, agricultural tools, and many items of daily use. That is we have seen. So which are the countries? Which are the countries are actually majorly producing this iron? So majorly producing countries are such as like Russia, then China, Ukraine, the USA, Brazil, South Africa, and India as well. So that is about the iron. Second one is about copper. Now when we talk about the copper, copper has the high conductivity, and therefore it is mainly used in the electrical industries to make electrical wires and appliances, and it also used for producing various alloys such as brass and bronze. So this is part of the copper, and the largest producer of copper in the world is first of all Chile. Then other copper, other part of the world also there are, that is namely USA, Peru, Russia, then Zambia, Canada, and Poland. So this is these are the countries are actually part of the or maybe the producer of the copper. Okay. So next we have the bauxite. Now this bauxite is the ore of aluminium. We should know. Aluminium is the lightest metal. Okay, understood now? Aluminium is the lightest metal. Why it is where it is used? It is used to manufacture aircrafts. So you have to understand aircrafts actually from the bauxite, how it is started making. And then it is also a good conductor of electricity and is thus used to make electric cables. So some of the countries are part of this producing, that is bauxite producing. There is Australia, Jamaica, China, Brazil, and India as well. So we can find the bauxite is here. Next is we have the manganese. Manganese is what? The manganese is used to make steel and other alloys. It may say a mixture of two things actually forms by the this manganese. And here it is also used for making bleaching powder, electric batteries, then glass and tiles. So these are a few things that we can understand. All right. So now you will be hearing about the different work it is done through the this manganese and all. So here mainly you will find that the countries which is actually part of this manganese producing is South Africa, China, Russia, Australia, Brazil, India, and Mexico. So this is about the manganese. Next we have the gold, that is also part of the this mineral which is actually found from the especially lithosphere part. Okay, so gold is a precious and widely used to manufacture jewelry, and it is found in limited quantities and it has many exclusive properties. And it is also used for a foreign exchange. So you should know that gold is a very costly things. It is not going to help you for your benefit for your health and all, but somehow it has got a very high value, and it is really actually helping the country to increase their economic part. So okay, so therefore, but at the same time, it is very very difficult to extract to gather the different. Okay, so uh, okay, so here the gold is a very valuable material. So the gold is a precious and a widely used in a manufactured jewelry, and it is found in the limited quantities and has many exclusive properties. So it is also used for foreign exchange. So number one is China, Russia, Canada, Peru, Australia, and South Africa are the largest producers of gold in the world. Okay, here India's name is not mentioned. It may say India is not much able to extract the gold. Next we have the tin. Now this tin is exactly what? So tin is used to coat other metals to prevent corrosion. It is also used to make alloys such as bronze, and it is also used to making cans for preserving food. And major tin producing countries are such as like Peru, Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Australia, and Belgium. These are the few countries are actually majorly producing tin. So let's know about the distribution of minerals in India as well. So here the plateau region of India is rich in the large number of minerals, and here you can understand that the iron is especially which are the states are found. Iron is actually found in the Chhattisgarh, Orissa, Jharkhand, Goa, and Karnataka. Copper in India is found Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Jharkhand. Then a bauxite we find in Orissa, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, and Jharkhand. Then manganese we find in Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Karnataka, and Maharashtra. And gold we find Karnataka and Jharkhand, uh, some extent. And tin is in Chhattisgarh. So these are the few things that is actually mentioned in the country like our India. And here another very important things we have to understand that is however these minerals are actually largely actually not able to produce because it needs a lot of investment. So here at the same time very important to understand about the preservation of these resources. So how we can conserve or how we can preserve these resources. So due to the increasing world population, of course you can see, and unending demands of the people, the uses of minerals resources are actually has drastically increased over the past few years. So if we do not control the uses of mineral resources, our future generations would be deprived of them as they are exhaustive in the nature. It means we know that once it is not preserved, once it is not stop excessive amount of using, then we will not get in future. So therefore once they are actually exhausted means they take thousands of years to generate. Now thousands of years you will not survive, I am not going to survive. So that's why it's very important for us to preserve. So hence they should be used judiciously and conserved by the following measures given below. So let's see, number one point what we have to keep in mind. So with the help of the technology, we should try to improve the techniques of extracting and purification of the minerals to avoid wastage. Okay, so it means we need to have the advanced technology. Second point we have to keep in mind that metals such as like iron, gold, silver, copper should be recycled possibly. And third point we have to keep in mind, mines should be saved from the collapsing. Whatever mine we have got, we should some extent we have to make it a very concrete way to make it stand so that it may not be collapsed at any moment due to the earthquake or maybe some natural calamities. So that is we have to understand. Secondly, we have the last point we have to understand, that is about alternative energies should be used. So not only these other things and all, but alternative some ideas should be also implemented and to be used, so that these other things are can be conserved properly. So student, this is the last part of this chapter. So hope you will be reading these chapters very systematic way, and you try to understand this chapter very well by reading more and more. And of course it is not that much difficult chapter, you will be getting it very easily. So in the next class I will just hand over to you the questions and answers of this chapter. Okay, so thank you and have a great day.